take part in clothes and shoes that may be dirty. Seems all right. Children. I'm just gonna check that one because I don't need to read it.
What'd you find?
This thing is now open. It used to be just like a really small convenience store, but now it is a really small stationery store. I get the impression that COVID killed this and somebody bought this spot. It's got like a little character and a whole bunch of things I don't need. So I don't think I'm going to be frequenting this place. Paper display. Going old school. We never come to this station. This is the third of the Asakusa stations.
Is this our train?
Yes, this is our train. We're getting on. Are you ready?
We are going to do something today that I'm not sure exactly how well we're going to be able to document this. But we're going into this underground layer, basically, that protects the city from natural disasters, and we'll get more into that in the future. But this is this thing that I've been wanting to do for years. Actually, one of our viewers had mentioned this to us a long time ago, and it just has never worked out for various reasons. Some of them have been weather related.
And luckily today is sunshiny, and that means that we can go into the depths of the earth and not drown.
So where we're going is only in Saitama, which is the prefecture just right next to Tokyo. It's not that far, but it seems like we're getting to the core of Mordor trying to get there, because it's like a train and then a walk and a bus and another train and like just like this sequence. Well, it's like two trains, a bus, a walk, and it's like extensive distances.
We already missed one connection. Google shows you get to this station that we're standing at right now at 11:58, and you leave at 11:58, and you were supposed to change trains at that time.
But it didn't tell you to change trains.
I should have insinuated it didn't tell me to remain on board. So the train on the other side of the platform was the train we needed to be on, and we watched the doors closed, but a 10-minute wait and we're on another train. Thanks, Tokyo.
What was the total, but seriously, what was the total travel? It was over an hour, right?
Yeah, it's about an hour-ish on the train, and then like 35-ish minutes on a bus, and then a 25-minute walk.
That's a long way for, yeah, that's a long way. I was like, oh, it's in Saitama, we'll be there in 20 minutes. Nope.
Nope. I don't want to die in the tunnel. And we are back. We have gotten off the train, we've had some ramen, we've gotten on a bus, and we've walked with a pal for a little ways down the road. It took us quite a while to get to where we are, and it took some new clothes, as you can see, to get to where we are, and some equipment, which you'll see in just a moment. We arrived at Ryukyu, which is like a building about the drainage area that we are checking out right now. We are currently in Saitama, which is a gigantic bowl, and it tends to flood quite a lot because there are multiple rivers in this area. And the structure that we've come to check out is a giant chain of silos that are underneath the ground, and they fill up with water as flooding happens in the area. And the silos feed water into each other. This is the last silo. They call it the shaft number 1, and it's the last silo to get water that will then go into a gigantic area, which we're going to go into in just a minute. I'm really excited about that. And then that gets ushered to the Edogawa River, and the Edogawa River takes that water out to Tokyo Bay. And then it's all gone and you don't have to worry about flooding. But prior to coming into the shaft, we got to don these amazing helmets. I'm ready to go into the earth. And my leash. I can get quite a ways away, but I am now retractable to the wall. Kind of am enjoying that. Feels really safe. I feel like they probably didn't have to go to these feats, but I really do feel secure. We are quite a ways up from where you would fall down, and there's kind of a scary noise happening above us that sounds kind of thunderous. There are skateboarders above us, and they are just doing tricks, and I wonder if they know that below them there's nothing for meters upon meters upon meters. That's blowing my mind, and I'm standing on a platform that there's nothing but air below it.
また感染症対策のためガイドによる写真撮影のお手伝いをすることができません。
We have progressed into the next section of the tour, and what we are inside of right now is basically a giant valve to release pressure before the water gets ejected into the river. This is a humongous structure that we're inside of. It's actually kind of difficult to see on the shot, but you'll see some tiny people in these pans that I can use that I made, and that'll kind of give you an idea of how tall these pillars are. And basically what this entire system is it is a way to protect the entire city of Tokyo, specifically the eastern half of Tokyo, which is prone to flooding historically, from floods that would come in during typhoons and heavy rains and things like that. Because the northern area above Tokyo is shaped kind of like a bowl, and water can get trapped there from these like huge water events or whatever. So they constructed this system, and this is the bigger part of the system, of which there are many smaller parts of tunnels and things that connect different rivers back and forth to move water when certain rivers flood to other ones. But this specific section here is a way to capture water from a bunch of different points where there had been massive flooding in the past, and then push it into a river that's on a higher level that goes out into the bay, which goes out into the ocean. So it's just a flood protection system basically, and it kind of feels like an old structure that's been here for like ever because of the monolithicness of it, but they actually finished building this whole thing in 2006. So it had been a project that hasn't been around that much, but it has already saved towns from being flooded from different types of weather events and things like that, just within the time that's already existed. And it is built to a standard of once in every 200-year flood. So like every 200 years they have a massive flood, and this should be able to resist the city from getting destroyed by such an event. So that was the point of constructing this. So we were in, where Katie was talking, one of the 5 silos, and then that connects into the depressurization valve, I guess is the best way to explain
you're standing.
Where I'm standing, yeah. And this thing is shaped in a way where it's narrower where it connects into the silo, and then it widens out as it goes back, and these giant columns are in it, obviously, and that's like the defining feature.
It
And
looks
then,
like a battleship to me.
like,
Not in the
you mean
pictures.
the shape, like the shape of the thing?
Yeah.
Is that what you mean? Yeah. Like when you see the way it's shaped, it looks like a ship. Then it goes out to a pumping system that's here that said it can pump 200 tons a second of water out into the Edo River. And that's a lot of water. So the basic way that the system works is that those 5 silos can get filled up from different weather events, and as they fill up, there is a tunnel that connects all 5 of those together, and they will each fill and fill and fill, and once they're all full, it overflows into this thing as kind of like the last resort, and then this disperses the water into the river in hopes that that river doesn't exceed its levels. I guess that is the river that's most competent at carrying that much water. But yeah, the tour has been okay. It has not been extravagant because it's cool. What you get to come into is incredible, but it doesn't really seem like they're giving too much information. I don't know if there's just not that much to give. Most of what I regurgitated to you is stuff that I actually read on Wikipedia and stuff, and they pointed out a few things. This pillar is that tall and stuff like that. But a lot of it is like, okay, now you have time to take pictures, and that's great for us because of what we're doing right now, but it's not like there's a lot of interactiveness going on. And then, I mean, what do you do? You know what I mean? How do you make this interactive? It's mostly just a come and check out, look at things kind of thing.
Eric, I smacked the pillars a lot.
Katie did. She's giving them a good smack to make sure. She was like, that one looks cracked. Is it safe?
It does look cracked. Look at it. There's a crack.
That's just the rope that's like, don't go beyond this point. But yeah, this is pretty cool. In English, they haven't said this at all here, but in English, this is referred to as G-cans. And I don't have any idea what that means, but like G, like the letter, dash, cans. I don't know what it means, but that's what this is referred to in English. And I don't know, it's an amazing looking structure. It almost feels like a temple or something, but like, it has like a cathedral vibe because of the sounds, this thundering that's going on around us from the skateboarders. Yeah, it's wild. This is neat. This is very cool.
One thing that I found fascinating was that, yes, this is going to get used once every 200 years for a major flood, but how often is it actually getting used every year? And it's approximately 7 times a year there's flooding to the point where this contraption, this enormous system, has to be used. And it is saving tons of things. We saw pictures with like huge floods, and once this system was made, it was very manageable, just looked like it was raining. So it's really coming in handy.
Come here. Come here. Come here. You're okay. You're afraid of the camera. Are you afraid of the camera? Come here. Come here.
Don't put your kitty fingers on me.
You don't like the fingers. That's different. Your bag is open.
Even if damage is caused by the fall of a smartphone or cameras in the first shaft.
Oh, it does get really dark.
Should I use my phone? Hope you enjoyed this underground adventure. Liking and commenting helps YouTube remember we exist. Coming soon, we have a series of videos about our most recent adventures around Lake Biwa in Japan, so make sure you're subscribed with the bell rang.